Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. Today we're going to be reading 2 Corinthians chapter 10. The title is Paul Defends His Ministry. Now I, Paul, who am lowly in presence among you, but bold toward you while absent, appeal to you by the meekness and gentleness of Christ. I beg you that when I am present, I might not have to be bold with that confidence by which I intend to be bold against some, who think of us as if we walked according to the flesh. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God, to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ, and being ready to punish all disobedience when your obedience is complete. Do you look at things from the outward appearance? If any man trusts that he is Christ's, let him consider again that as he is Christ's, even so we are Christ's. For even if I should boast somewhat more of our authority, which the Lord has given us for edification, and not for your destruction, I shall not be ashamed, lest I appear to frighten you by my letters. For his letters, they say, are weighty and powerful, but his bodily presence is weak, his speech is contemptible. Let such a person consider this. As we are in word by letters when we're absent, we will also be in deed when we are present. For we dare not count or compare ourselves with those who commend themselves or recommend themselves. They who measure themselves by one another and compare themselves with one another are not wise. But we will not boast beyond measure, but within the boundaries which God has appointed us, which reach even you. For we are not overextending ourselves as though we did not reach you, since we have come to you, preaching the gospel of Christ. We are not boasting of things beyond our measure in other men's labours, but we have hope that when your faith is increased, our region shall be greatly enlarged by you, to preach the gospel in the regions beyond, and not to boast in another man's accomplishments. But let him who boasts boast in the Lord, for it is not he who commends himself or recommends himself or approves of himself, who is approved, but he whom the Lord commends, approves and recommends. So Paul was just telling us in this chapter that the approval that he gets, that the approval we should seek is the approval of God, not the approval of ourselves. We shouldn't be going around boasting about ourselves. It's fine for us to share our accomplishments and our achievements with each other, our test results or whatever. We may be doing exams, we may be doing school work, college work, university work, or just achieving even a work of art or something. Achieving if you're into building work and you've helped to build a nice house or something, there's no problem with showing that on Facebook and saying, well, look, this is what we've done today, we've fit this new kitchen in. That's not a problem. That's just sharing achievements that you've done. And but in this context here that Paul was speaking of, is about boasting of yourself in obviously in other ways that could be quite prideful, basically. So we let the Lord commend us. Our ultimate approval comes from God, not from people. And while we do, we can be blessed and can be lifted up by the approval of our friends and family when we, like I said, when we achieve things, even things like weight loss. It is not a problem for you to be pleased with your achievements in your weight loss, in your fitness journey and stuff like that. Paul's obviously not talking about things like that. Paul's speaking of much more spiritual matters and making sure that we don't get prideful and so forth. So I just want to double check, just look over here. It speaks about comparing with one another, comparing yourselves to others. Not a wise thing to do. Paul was saying here in verse 8, for even if I should boast somewhat more of our authority, which the Lord has given us for edification, not for your destruction, I shall not be ashamed, lest I appear to frighten you by my letters. For his letters, they say, are weighty and powerful, but his bodily presence is weak and his speech is contemptible. Let such a person consider this, that as we are in word by letters when we are absent, we also be indeed when we're present. So some people are saying, well, Paul's all big when he's writing letters to us. He's very bold, he's very brave, he comes across like strong and everything, and but when he comes to us in body, when he comes to us and actually sees us in the flesh, he is weak. His speech is contemptible, which means laughable even. And Paul says the way we come in our letter, what we write in our letters, be guaranteed that when we come to see you, we will be like you see us with our letters as well. Obviously, through writing letters, a bit like texting, as we know, we can't show people our body language, our facial expressions, express our emotions fully through just writing. So there will be a difference between when Paul wrote the letters to the Corinthians versus when he actually went there in person, and then obviously his facial expressions, body language, his energy, and obviously the presence of God that would be with him. And that's when we try and speak to people in text and try to get our point across, or try to even show emotion, it never really works very well. So it's best for us to seek a physical contact with people, a physical meeting with a person, to say, look, I can't explain how I feel on the phone. I can't express properly. Although expressing self on the phone is probably more is better than in text. But yeah, ultimately, if we want to get our point across and show people how passionate we are, how emotionally invested we are as well with the persons that we're talking to, we need to seek a physical meeting together. Okay, well, God bless you. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you in the next video, and pray for me and my family. Subscribe to my channel, and feel free to share these videos with others that you may feel will benefit from it. And also leave some comments to let me know your thoughts on what you've learned from this video. Thanks for joining me. God bless you in Jesus' mighty name. Bye-bye.